Good morning, this is KELOLAND on the go with all you need to know in news and weather as you start your day.
South Dakota's first Senate impeachment trial begins tomorrow. 35 senators will gather in Pierre to decide whether to convict Attorney General Jason Ravnsborg of 2 articles of impeachment.
A 2/3 majority is required to convict Ravnsborg and permanently remove him from the position he is currently suspended from. The 2-day trial starts at 8 a.m. Central, 7 a.m. Mountain Time on Tuesday.
KELOLAND's Dan Santella, Bob Mercer, and Eric Mayer will be in Pierre covering the trial and will bring you updates on air and online.
One man was arrested after an incident in Madison last night. The Madison chief of police says it happened just after 8 p.m. in the central part of the city. He says a person was threatening someone with a gun. Madison Police and Lake County Sheriff's Office arrived on scene and secured the neighborhood. Authorities were able to contact the suspect and learned he had left the home. He was later found in Brookings and arrested. The investigation into the incident is ongoing.
Police in Rapid City are asking for the public's help in finding a missing girl. Police say 12-year-old Kennedy Schrader was last seen around 10 o'clock Saturday night in the 2300 block of Wisconsin Avenue. She was wearing a purple zip-up sweatshirt, blue jeans, and black shoes. If you have any information on where she may be, you're asked to call Rapid City Police.
Turning to weather, it was a hot weekend. Can we expect a hot week too? Let's find out with meteorologist Scott Munt. Good morning, Scott.
Well, good morning, Sarah. Good morning, everybody. Hot temperatures will continue for today. Numbers easily in the 90s. That'll cover central and eastern KELOLAND. Along with that, we'll have high dew point temperatures. Right now, we have those numbers in the 60s and 70s. As we do take a quick look at the forecast for today, we will watch for these developing storms as we go through the afternoon and evening, and there is that chance that some of those will become strong to severe. Brian Karstens will talk more about that in a couple of minutes.
All right, thank you, Scott. Farmers in Salem are still working hard to get their farm sites cleaned up after last month's derecho. They have been slowly getting the debris picked up so that the rebuilding can begin. Safety is a concern, and one farmer says they are using caution as they work to clean up their farm.
But we're really trying to stay safe and have the right equipment to move like these big pieces like that are sitting against the bin and stuff like that. We're not going to try to handle that. We're going to have professionals do that.
They hope to have a lot of the cleanup done in the next couple of weeks so that they can begin rebuilding or repairing bins and sheds.
People in KELOLAND are bracing for another day of hot temperatures to start the week. High temps and high humidity can be dangerous for people who spend too much time outdoors. In fact, heat waves are the leading cause of weather-related deaths in the U.S., topping even floods and tornadoes. According to the CDC, more than 600 people in the U.S. are killed by extreme heat every year. That compares to 80 tornado deaths per year. Last year, 145 people were killed in floods. People at the greatest risk of heat-related illnesses include young children, people over 65, and those with pre-existing conditions. To beat the heat, experts recommend drinking plenty of water and avoiding the sun. Find out about the other ways you can stay safe in the heat, which includes the importance of sunscreen, by going to this story right here on KELOLAND.com.
Federal officials say most of Yellowstone National Park should reopen within the next 2 weeks, much faster than originally expected after record floods pounded the Yellowstone region last week and knocked out major roads. But Yellowstone superintendent said the park will be able to accommodate fewer visitors for the time being. It will also take many months to reconnect roads with some southern Montana communities. Meanwhile, some of those hardest hit in the disaster are leaning heavily on one another to pull their lives out of the mud.
A bank in Sioux Falls is helping to raise money for families impacted by the deadly school shooting in Uvalde, Texas. The Central Bank of Sioux Falls is hosting a car wash and bake sale today from 11 a.m. to 2 p.m. Fundraiser will be held at Central Bank's 33rd and Minnesota location in Sioux Falls.
People gathered in Brookings on Sunday to celebrate the Juneteenth holiday. It commemorates the emancipation of enslaved African Americans. The Brookings Juneteenth Planning Committee organized the 3rd annual event in collaboration with the Brookings Human Rights Commission.
It gives the community a wonderful place to congregate amongst all kinds of different people.
Sioux Falls will have its very own Juneteenth event this coming Saturday at Kenny Anderson Park.
The Sturgis motorcycle rally is less than 2 months away. That means the city of Sturgis and local businesses are preparing for a busy week that will draw thousands of bikers to the Black Hills. Right now, the planning team is figuring out which streets to block off and where all those bikers can park. They've got a lot of decisions to make before the rally starts August 5th.
You know, every year the calendar starts turning faster the closer it gets, right? And so you got to pre-plan as much as you can.
Organizers are still expecting big crowds, but say high gas prices may keep some bikers away this year.
That's a look at some of our top stories.
Now let's get one last look at your weather with meteorologist Brian Karstens. Brian?
All right, weather today, looking at that severe weather risk. Again, a large area included with that. However, the thinking is that there will be clusters of thunderstorms around. Not necessarily everybody getting wet, but as we look to at the heat, that's obviously a big story ahead of the front. Heat indices today could be near 100 in these heat advisory and excessive heat warning county areas. Basically Aberdeen down to about Chamberlain and points east. We have still that southerly wind in place ahead of this frontal boundary, so that too to think about today. Gusts will run easily over 30 miles per hour across many areas east river. So these storm cells, again, this is more or less a prefrontal trough right here near Sioux Falls. Again, that could develop. There's some thinking about that. You've got your main cold front, 7 o'clock this evening, closer to Chamberlain to Aberdeen. And even behind that, you've got additional cells that are in the cooler air mass, but those too could be some hail makers in western South Dakota. The whole thing, though, should dissipate late tonight. Tomorrow, weather map looks dry. I think we'll keep high pressure around going into midweek, and that also looks less humid. And then we'll kind of see how things truck along here by Thursday night into Friday. There's probably some arguments now being made that, yeah, we could start to pop up a couple of thunderstorms in the region at that point in the forecast. And then eventually we'll cool down by next weekend, so we'll keep an eye on that. Highs today, again, another scorcher, close to 100 or feeling like it in those eastern areas of KELOLAND. But tomorrow we cut the high into the upper 80s. Again, it's a little above normal, but it's not going to be nearly as humid. You'll feel a difference in mid-80s Wednesday. It may get back to the 90s, though, Thursday, Friday, and then we'll anticipate some more scattered thunderstorms in the region by Friday and Saturday. And with that front, we should start to cool down, with day 7 being around 80 in Aberdeen. I wouldn't be shocked if we could get some 70s to push into parts of the region. So that would be important to watch. Pier 2 will get a knockdown on the temps, but still another piece here coming out Thursday could get us back in the mid to upper 90s. So we are sensitive to that heat. Rapid City, too, in the 90s on Thursday, but cooling after that. Check out the latest details online at KELOLAND.com.